Too many people in the United States struggle to make ends meet or live in poverty, and a massive part of this is due to the minimum wage. People do not make enough money to be able to afford basic needs such as clothing, housing, and food. Due to this, crime is a massive part of many people's lives that live in poverty. To help people be able to live a life without poverty, we should raise the nationwide minimum wage. The wage is currently $7.25 in most states for jobs such as working in a grocery store, working retail jobs, and in most fast food places. Here is a chart showing the different amount of wages throughout the country. The areas in blue pay the nationwide average of $7.25. The areas in green pay more than the nationwide average, the highest being in Washington, which pay $9.04. There are states that are in yellow. They do not have a law on the minimum wage, so the employer can pay the employee whatever kind of wage they want. So it could be higher than the nationwide average, or it could be well below the nationwide average. Then there are states that are in red, and those are states that pay less than the nationwide average, the lowest being in Georgia and in Wyoming, which pay $5.15 per hour. People need to work multiple minimum wage jobs to be able to pay for rent, pay for food, and pay for clothing sometimes. If you have children, this can cause for more stress on being able to pay for the basic needs. Add in other costs such as an electric bill, a phone bill, and insurance for your car. Working just one minimum wage job will not be able to take care of all that added on stress. According to Census.gov, there are 43.1 million people in poverty in 2015. This number has decreased by 3.5 million from the year before, but there's still way too many people in poverty. About 33% of these people live in the poverty threshold. So they either live right above poverty or right below. Here's another chart showing the different living situations of people in poverty, whether you live alone, live with a wife, a husband, children, without children. If you want to go ahead and pause the video, you can go ahead and take a little bit better look at that chart. Due to this, though, areas ridiculed with poverty have massive problems with crimes. Ventana.org states that people living in low-income areas have double the rate of violent crimes compared to high-income households. The website also states that the highest rates of violent victimization for whites and African Americans were in low-income classes, while for Latinos, the rate of violent victimizations were consistent across all income levels. Whites are most at risk for urban poverty to experience crime at a rate of 5.64%, while African Americans had a rate of 5.13%. The most common age group for poverty is ages 16 to 24. In some areas, unemployment exceeded 20% in some parts of the country. 1/3 of this age group lives in poverty and are most likely to commit crime. On average, about 2.5 million youth are arrested for different crimes, the most common crime being theft. 40% of this youth being arrested are African American, 37.5% are white, the other 22.5% are either Latino, Asian, or Native American. 86% of the youth arrested are males, the other 14% being female. As you can see, crime is a massive problem for areas that have low income. We see all the time in the news that crime happens, and this is normally found to be in areas that have low income. If we were to raise the minimum wage, crime would decrease in such areas, and more people would be able to pay for the basic needs and for the extra necessities. But there are a few questions that could rise up about the minimum wage. Such questions like, would raising the minimum wage kill jobs? Would businesses lose money because of this? And wouldn't the increase of minimum wage threaten our economy? Well, raising the minimum wage would most likely reduce teen employment by 1 to 3%, so it would affect most younger and unskilled workers the most. Businesses would most likely not lose money if they raised the minimum wage. Many businesses like Walmart, Subway, and Target make more than enough money per day to pay more than a minimum wage. Also, by raising the minimum wage, it would help our economy more than it would hurt it. People would go out and they would buy more goods, therefore boosting the economy. In the end, we should raise the minimum wage from $7.25 to a wage that would cause for an ability to live above the poverty line. I'm thinking what Washington does, at least pay a wage of $9. That would help people get out of the poverty line. Doing this would lower crimes in most areas. It would also help some neighborhoods become a little bit nicer, maybe. It would also allow for people not to work multiple jobs. It would allow for people not to live off of paycheck to paycheck. This could be real helpful for people of all ages, not just the age group of 16 to 24, but of age groups ranging from age 16 to age 90. It would also make people want to work more of these minimum wage jobs to help them gain that experience to maybe get a better job in the future to where they're making $15, $20 an hour in business or as a management type position. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day today. Thank you.